the big, comment that Dr. S Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, made on the issue of human rights, the very sensitive issue of human rights, was made right there in the United States. It wasn't after coming back here to India. It was right there in the United States where it happened. And, going well beyond just the diplomatic sphere, the comments of Dr. S Jaishankar have made him something of a national hero. In these social media times, when comments of this kind tend to go viral, I can safely say that Dr. S Jaishankar has become a boss man on social media. He's being hailed by millions. The video of his comments have gone totally viral, and he's being called the voice of the Naya Bharat. Mr. Katju and Mr. Bansal, very good to see you. Thank you for your time. Mr. Katju, to you first, sir. What did you make of this? We've seen one comment after another where we've seen very calm, very measured, a person who weighs his words very carefully. You've been a diplomat, sir. You know how carefully things need to be said, in a bilateral dynamic, especially between India and the United States. And here's a minister who said, look, we have human rights concerns as well about the United States, sitting there in Washington, sir. What did you think of that?
Look, let me place this in some perspective. I think it's important to do so, and I'll make 3 points, sir. The first is that starting from the mid-1970s, the United States, and it was during the presidency of Mr. Carter, Jimmy Carter, the United States decided to weaponize human rights. And they went into preparing reports on international press freedom, international religious freedom, etc. And those reports were to be submitted to Congress, and that process is continued. This is meant to pressure governments. Now, while doing this, they always add a caveat that, look, America is not perfect, and if people want to point fingers at us, let them do. That's my first. The second is that Mr. Blinken's comment that you put out today was, I think, among other things, made in a domestic context. He was responding to the extreme left of the Democratic Party, the members of Congress who've been very critical of India. So he was doing this. Mr. Jaishankar's response, which was very good, I think, was responding to his own domestic constituency. So we have a situation where both the ministers were responding to domestic constituencies, and in Mr. Jaishankar's case, there is a constituency which is assertive, which believes India should not take it lying down, etc. This is the age, it's Shiv, you rightly said, of the social media, and in this age, things get played up. But I recollect, in 1981, I was posted in Abu Dhabi, and Mrs. Gandhi came, and at a press conference, someone asked her about the communal situation in India and riots, etc., and she hit right back very calmly when she said, what is happening in Northern Ireland? So India has never taken this lying down. It so happens that this is a new age and things get amplified as they should. And I think, I will repeat, Jaishankar did a good thing. And the third thing I'll state is this, that there are these political constituencies all over the world, domestic constituencies, and I don't think we need to bother much about it. But there is also a serious section of international liberal opinion, which is there in India too. And I think they don't make comments out of malice. They make comments because of ideological compulsions, yes, but they're not entirely politically motivated, and they are influential in the world, and I think they need to be engaged, and they can't be treated with disdain. So we've got to be, one last point, permit.
Yes, sir.
So we've got to be very nuanced in, and while Jaishankar did well, this is the third time I'm saying this, he did it very well, but the approach that we have has to be nuanced, and my last point, very last point is that we should also be mindful of the fact that while we don't like lectures from outside, we ourselves should not be in the business of giving lectures. And if that is so, then we shouldn't have pretensions of being a Jagat Guru.
No, all your points are very well taken. The only thing is, like you rightly said, Mr. Katju, that this is the age of social media. Things like these tend to get amplified. But one cannot ignore the fact that this is Dr. Jaishankar. He's not a career politician. He's a former foreign secretary. He's a man who measures his words. He's not a chest thumper or a chest beater by any stretch. He's not a neta, who would go abroad and do some kind of...
He is a member. He is a professional diplomat. But today he is a member of the CCS. So he is a neta.
Of course,
and he's done very well.
Technically, of course, he is. I'm saying that. I'm just saying. No, I understand what you're saying. So I'm just putting into context that it's very different for a Jaishankar to say this.